Usually when people ask me about dealing with haters part, I will like, I don't care, just block. But the truth is that haters does affect me. I take cosplay as my whole, my identity, my whole personality. And once that got attacked, I get very affected. Welcome to this episode of Clean Your Toilet Podcast. My name is Xiaoyu. I'm a full-time cosplayer based in Singapore.
Hi everyone, I'm Angjolie and I'm actually a funeral director.
Funeral director?
Yes.
Hey. Okay.
Nande.
So the theme for this session is centered about confessions of the unconventional.
So maybe Xiaoyu, I mean cosplay, you just said you're a full-time cosplay.
Yes.
So how did you end up, going into this unconventional path?
The truth would be that I did not went to find a job after I graduated.
What do you study?
I studied Chinese language.
Oh.
Yeah, I was supposed to become a Chinese teacher. When I was studying, I was trying to go on that path of like educational stuff. And then when I graduated, conventions kind of hit because COVID, COVID came when I was like in school. And then once I graduated, COVID ended. So there was a boom of events coming up. So cosplay became my full-time job because I keep on going out to events. I basically did not go and find a job. Yeah.
But the job found you.
Yes,
that's why.
yes.
So, I mean, cosplay, there's a lot of different characters. And maybe you can share with the audience, who are you today?
Today I'm cosplaying as Chisato from Licorice Recoil, but this is a fan art version, so it's like President Chisato, if you can see. Yeah.
Hi, President.
Thank you.
Yes. So maybe you can share a little bit of, being a Chinese, maybe you wanted to be in education. How has that shaped you now that you go into cosplay? And also, second question is, how do you choose who you want to be today?
Well, okay. First of all, how does my educational path shape me? I think it really helps me a lot with empathizing with different people. Because when I'm in this industry, especially at conventions, I get to meet a lot of different people from all walks of life. And usually these people are like young teenagers. So being from the educational path, I get to empathize with them more and talk to them more. So I think that's the pro about coming from an educational background. Then for why did I choose this character? Well, it's actually my comfort character. Because I feel my personality fits Chisato a lot. So I just came up to the show in this costume. And because I think, it's a very formal setting.
So Chisato, what is the... sorry, I don't really watch a lot of manga. Yeah. But what is Chisato's personality?
She's like very hyper, happy, a little bit unhinged. Yeah.
Is it something similar to the real you?
Yeah, sort of.
So how many characters do you play? Like cosplay? I'm sure you have a few, right?
That I have a lot of cosplays. I can't count, but usually 1 year I do about like 40 cosplays. Yeah, so maybe over the 10 years I did like 400.
400
average,
wow.
Like average 40 a year. So I can't give you an exact number. So I'm just guessing.
Wow. Yeah. So your wardrobe must be full of cosplay uniform.
I sell them also.
Oh, you sell them too?
Yeah, so it's resold also.
So actually cosplay scene is quite growing in Singapore. Because I mean, the first time I saw a cosplay was in Japan. Usually you go to Shibuya. Shibuya, everybody's like part of life, right? Everybody just dressed up. People will take pictures or but...
Was it like a convention?
No, it just happened that I was like in Japan and then I saw it. This was probably about 10 over years, but back then they dressed up, but not really, maybe I didn't know there was actually this like convention. So now like I see everywhere I go, even MBS just a few months ago, I think there was a convention for cosplay, people were dressed up. So I always admire the effort that everybody put in, Maybe the age does tell. But how did that feel after you started cosplay? I'm very curious that because cosplay found you, and you embrace it. Were you doing cosplay before you graduate?
Yeah. I have been cosplaying like since I was in school. Of course, it started off just as a hobby, but eventually, like jobs came in. Of course, at first it's just like small gigs, like occasionally we have few. Then eventually there's more and more. So I started to realize maybe I could make this a full-time thing. And back then when I started, there's not really full-time cosplayer in Singapore yet. So it's really a brand new path that I'm walking on that no one has started. So it's quite scary, but yeah, somehow I'm here.
Oh, nice. I mean, it's a very niche industry, I feel. And how many full-time cosplayers are there now?
I'm not sure the exact numbers, but if you're talking about Singapore, I think we can count within like 10 to 20 at maximum. You know, when I first heard about her job, that she's a funeral planner. It reminds me of this character called Hu Tao in Genshin Impact.
Hu Tao.
Hu Tao.
What does Hu Tao do?
Genshin Impact is a game. So in Genshin Impact, Hu Tao is basically a funeral parlor.
Oh.
So she does like funerals and it's like passed down for generations for her. Oh. Like her father was doing it and she's like the 88th descendant. And I'm like, whoa. Am I talking to a real life Hu Tao? So I want to know, how do you start your...
Nice. I should go and watch this Hu Tao. This is a manga, no?
No, it's a game.
It's a game.
Yeah, Hu Tao is a character in the game.
I see.
But I think you can search it up on YouTube so you can like see her trailers and you get to know what is she about.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Like even her dress code is like the color scheme, you know, matches Hu Tao.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think we're quite matching today. Dark blue and red.
It really is.
It's been very good for the camera. So actually, how I started was because my dad passed away, and then he actually had maybe the descendant thing, but I didn't continue in the company. I actually started my own company. So about 16 years ago, I started my own funeral company, and the company is called the Life Celebrant because I believe in celebrating life. I actually long for a day where I can get cosplayers to come to the funerals that I conduct, because if touchwood, the departed is actually a cosplay character and everybody who come to send them off are all in cosplay. Wow, I think that would be quite mind-blowing. We actually had one where it was Star Wars. So I mean, people can dress out in characters. It doesn't always need to be somber. It's supposed to be about the person's life. So yeah, imagine if the crematorium is full of people in cosplay outfit. I think people will be very shocked. Okay. Like, what is happening?
What is the occasion? Why is there cosplay for a funeral?
So usually for us, we like to talk about the person's life story. So if the person has certain characters that we want to showcase, or if the family is agreeable. So example, we had a gentleman who is a cyclist. So everybody came in their jersey, their cycling jersey. So it sort of represent who he was. Right. So I think that character would the farewell would be maybe a gratitude and a token of gratitude, a sort of a showcase of who this person was before. I think that would be very, very interesting and very unconventional, which is also some of the funerals that we do. We prefer to help commemorate the person's life story. So if that person has certain characters and the family would allow us to do that, I think that's very, very meaningful. Yeah, sort of to give thanks to this person, like, oh, these are the characters that he played before.
I see.
And imagine like everyone came in that outfit. So the whole funeral or farewell will be packed with people in different sort of outfit. Yeah. I think that would be, sort of like the scene about Endgames, the Avengers suddenly came out in my head. Like everybody is in their outfit, right? Saying goodbye to Iron Man. Yeah, that would be something cool.
That's very special. Like my idea of like a funeral would be like the white cloth or the yellow cloth underneath the HDB.
Yeah.
But yours sound like a party.
We do. I think more and more people embrace the concept of celebration. When I first started 16 years ago, maybe people were still very shy, or they feel that, oh, this is very taboo, you shouldn't do that. So our focus has never been to celebrate death, it's to celebrate life. Death is only the final chapter, but this person has so many chapters that's so beautiful and they have gone through so much in their life. Why don't we talk about it? Because you never know that maybe one story could impact the person, and then the other person become inspired and like, oh, maybe I should become, you know, a cosplay because of what this person has told him or her before. So I think these stories are very important. So that's why for us, it's getting more and more people want to celebrate life. Recently, we had a guy, 80 years old, 80 plus or 90 plus, gentleman who passed away, and the son actually said his favorite song is this very hip song called Sex Bomb. And so when when my team asked me, how do we play this song? Because it's so upbeat, you know. And I said, do it at the end where we actually inform everybody just before we leave to say that, the next song that we're going to play is for him because this is one of his favorite songs. Every time this song is being played, he will start dancing. So let's send him off by dancing. So when we played this song, wow, the family was so happy and they started dancing. So it's really a reminder of who their dad was in their lifetime, and that's the way he wanted to commemorate his father. So so I think these are things that we can slowly add, you know, to a farewell, to give thanks to this person. So that's how we do it.
That's
so
really
actually,
cool.
you know, coming back to that, to your work as a cosplayer, I mean, actually, have you ever doubted yourself that you're choosing a path that nobody actually thought about, a cosplay being a full-time job? Have you, were there ever moments?
Oh, definitely. It's like, I think I when I got into cosplay, suddenly like I've been working so hard to get like this my certificates and stuff, and then now I'm doing cosplay full, and like all that is going to waste, you know, going to the trash bin. And then of course there's also my parents who are, you know, Asian parents, very stereotypical. They have all their life they're thinking, yeah, I'm going to become a teacher, and then come out, wow, a cosplayer.
You can use cosplay to teach. I think the students will be like in full attention, right? Why not?
Real?
Yeah, you can be like a cosplay teacher. So then
Teach people how to cosplay.
But that also, or like to teach them Chinese, because you're a Chinese language teacher, right? And then the kids will love to listen to you, because I think with kids, like even my daughter, you know, getting her to have that interest in Mandarin, I have to use games. I actually have, I went online to find an app that this app actually uses play to teach characters. So then she learned by, you know, playing some of the games, and then the Chinese character will pop up, and then like, then they are like bubbles, like tap the right word.
Yes.
So and then she learned through play. I think having you, why not? And also teaching about cosplay, that should be something you could do for the teenagers and to empower them.
Right.
Yeah,
Giving me ideas.
I really think I can get that sense from you. Yeah, because there's no one teaching. I mean, like even if you ask me, how do you dress up as a cosplay? I know the makeup is so elaborate, especially the guys' makeup. When I see them, it's like, oh, they look so much more beautiful than me, you know. And then, so interestingly, I actually have an outfit that is a cosplay outfit, because it was I have to dress up for like a team party, which is a united nation. So you dress up in like all around the world. So somehow this character, I need to find that character. It's a Japanese kimono. So it's a red color one. So then when I wore it, the father of the cosplay said, hey, my daughter has the same. Is a cosplay outfit. I was like, oh yeah, I got it online. Didn't know what it was, but then he was the one who recognized me, right? But I didn't do the makeup because I don't know how to do the makeup. I went online to find, but I didn't do those makeup like what you did. Yeah, but I think you should definitely teach the next generation that what is cosplay, how does cosplay come about. And then
actually, I've always been thinking about that before, like doing tutorials on how to do cosplay. But I've always felt that my cosplay is not good enough yet. And then like a few years later, I don't think I'm good enough yet. I don't think I'm good enough. So I never went to that step of teaching, because I always felt that I'm not good enough to teach yet.
Oh, but what made you feel this way?
Oh, because honestly, I feel like even my cosplay right now, I still have a lot of room to improve. Like, how do I do my wig and my makeup? So I always, before I do a cosplay, I always do a lot of research. Like, what does this character look like how other artists draw them, and then how other cosplayers draw them, like do their makeup, how other wig stylists, professional ones, do their wigs. So it's like I do a lot of research. So in the end, I feel that maybe I still have a lot of room to learn instead of like teaching. Yeah.
Or maybe you can share how you get ready. I think that would be like behind the scene. I would love to see like how you get ready.
Like the vlog, that kind of
you know,
stuff.
nowadays there's a lot of people doing makeup in front of the camera while they're talking about something. So I think I can see that in you, like as you're getting ready, you talk about the process, and along the way you talk a little bit about yourself, and then people will get to know you.
Ideas.
I will go to your channel and watch.
Thank
because
you.
you know, I sometimes think I also don't learn makeup by myself. Right? I mean, I didn't go to a class. Every time I look at YouTube, I follow people like, oh, how do they get their rosy cheek? How do they get their like sui wang wang? You know, their eyes. Yeah, all this I have to learn from YouTube. So I think if you have a channel like that, then you will inspire, you know, someone else. You never know what you do that can inspire another person. Yeah.
I also want to ask about your situation. Like, what were you thinking when you got into this path? Because usually funerals are not like that.
Yeah.
Are you like the first?
I think I was the first younger female. So in 2004, when my dad passed away, I have to jump into the industry with zero knowledge, because I didn't get to learn from my dad, because we are female, right? We're girls. So my dad never had the opportunity to say, oh, come over the weekend, I'll teach you how to be a funeral director. So we never really get to do that. And I have to jump into the industry quite quickly, because my dad he didn't suffer a long chronic illness. So it's pretty much quite sudden. So when I came in, I think I just graduated too. I was in a logistics company. So I remember people asking me, what do you want to do when you grow up? You know, typical question. And I always say it's a variable. It means I'm still finding. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I mean, how would you know what you want to do at 21, 22? Usually, whatever you study, you don't really use it, right? But somehow it did become useful. So I studied psychology and econs. And then when I came into the industry, there were maybe only me as the daughter. Usually the wife of the owner will be helping out in the business. But as a female to be a funeral director was very rare back then. So I have to work with men, like the different, you know, in the people who are not really very educated, because back then this industry was a very frowned upon. People who if not, usually people who work there are people who are manual workers, right? Guli, you know, they can't find another job, so they jump into this industry. So I have to, different characters, very rowdy, always have tattoo, and then they wear shorts, wear singlet, wear slippers, and then they always have a cigarette in their hand. And then they talk to us a little bit more crude, like, you know, or in dialects. So back then I didn't really speak Hokkien, and I actually pick up Hokkien along the way. So now I can speak to them, and I think you need to speak their lingo, otherwise they can't connect with you, with me. So back then I did wonder whether this is really what I wanted to do. But I think in 2010 was when I first started my own company, there was a lot more clarity. So 2004 to 2010, I was maybe searching, like, do I really want to be in this industry? Of course, there were a lot of knocks, you know, with my mom. We had a lot of quarrel because she felt that I shouldn't be in this industry, being a woman, right? So, and there's a lot, because I have a degree. Why do I want to be stuck in this industry that is not growing? So in 2010, I realized, wow, with globalization, the world is opening up. So I start to go to different countries to watch how they do funeral. And I learn, and then I, you know, a bit like you, we do research, we find out. Then I start to think about, I really like this concept. How can I integrate into Singapore context that Singaporeans will find it palatable to accept this concept? So it's really one funeral at a time. And then to see how I can convince that family, like, would you like us to do this for your family? And then it's something new, and they say, this has been something we would like to. So slowly, one funeral at a time. So I think 2010, I have more clarity of what I wanted to do in this industry. But maybe 2004 to 2010, there were doubts, you know, whether I was able to work with people of much older than me. They are, of course, a bit rude, the way they do things. And I wanted things to be more structured. But there wasn't any structure in the funeral industry. But if you look at funeral now, there are a lot more women. My team has almost 80% ladies. Yeah, so back then it's very rare. You don't get to hire ladies. Ladies don't want to join the industry. But now we are having more and more younger ladies to join the industry. So I think that had been a very useful impact to the industry. Now people don't see the industry just as a male-dominated one, but rather it's now very inclusive. You get different people from different walk of life. Could be an Indian also. I had an Indian he's a Eurasian, but he speaks Chinese, Mandarin, Malay, Hindi. So I think going forward, we are going to have a more inclusive society, and even in the funeral industry as well.
So would you say that before you started your new company, most of your industry is all male dominated?
Male dominated. And you have to, I think there's so many times I have to prove to them I know what I'm talking about. But I think it comes with earning their respect. So I realized that the best way to talk to them, because these people were people who worked with my dad for 30 over years. They started with my dad. Right, so those era is like 1970s, they follow my dad, and suddenly you have this Xiaoyu Mei who come in and try to change things. So it was difficult for them. So then I realized the best is to earn their trust. So I went out with them. I work with them. I go to mortuary with them. I carry the departed with them. Then slowly by slowly, I think they start to see that, oh, she's actually walking her talk. I even went to the embalming room. I was doing embalming. So I think the first time they saw me in the embalming room, they were a bit taken aback, like, oh, don't play with her. She really know what she's saying. So yeah, it comes with that practice and also earning their respect, right? Because if you just tell them, hey, I want this done, and you don't do it, then they don't respect you. So I realized the best way was to earn their respect and earn their trust also, that you can trust me. I will back you up. If I tell you it can be done, it means that I've already done it, or I know how it's going to be done. So yeah, I came with that, and that really helped now.
It takes a lot of determination as well for you as a young girl. Well, would you say that you are marginalized when you are just joining the industry?
Oh yeah, for sure. There were so many times I have to prove myself. I think also, like, maybe women have a different, people have different expectation when it's a female. When you sit down with a family, I had before years ago, and they said, oh, you are so young. Are you sure you know what you're doing? And can you get a male funeral director to come and talk to me?
Oh, yeah. Like just cue male female.
Yeah, they just feel like, I don't feel safe with you. I don't feel that I can trust you. So it was also times where so I do get disrespected back then, and I have to stand up for myself a lot. And I find that standing up for yourself is also knowing, with knowledge, you can stand up for yourself. If you don't have knowledge, then sometimes it's difficult, right? So I get to learn a lot, study, like, why is it done this way? I travel to different country, meet different funeral directors, and actually get exposed to how they do it. And when I know, with all this knowledge, then when, I get challenged, in maybe back home in Singapore, it was much easier for me to justify why I said this can be done. So yeah, there were times where I feel marginalized. Nowadays, not so much. Nowadays is being respected and having the voice now. That people will ask, oh, Angjolie, what do you think? And I think I've been in the industry for long enough to know how the works, the before and after the transformation of the industry. So I can speak more confidently, and people do ask, what is your perspective about this? Because I also do things that's unconventional. I always believe in, so earlier on, you mentioned something about how you fear, right? That, you are not good enough. So I have a different way of doing things. So, people will do, they will be, they will aim, and then they ready. So let's say things like, I aim to be a good cosplay player, right? So you aim, and then when you're ready, then you fire. But for me, it's different. So I'm more of someone who is ready. I fire first, and then I aim for where I want to go. I already have an aim, but I know I will never reach the goal by the first fire. But I want to take the first step out first.
Yes.
So like for yourself, we will always say, we're not good enough, right? Maybe we are not there yet. I also have those doubts, right? But I said, if I don't do it, I don't know how to improve. So I will start to do it first, little by little, and then start to aim where I want to be next, Because you will never get to be straight. line, right? In our life, it's always like that.
Yeah.
So as I start to explore, I start to fine tune a lot of things. So that's why my team always say, wow, we need to be very flexible. Because maybe 1 minute I'm saying, okay, let's go this way. And then something appear and like, no, we need to do this way. So they have to start to like, okay, now boss changed the direction, so let's move. But yeah, so it's really, because I told them that sometimes it's very difficult, right? The best analogy I can think of is there's a group of monkeys, and then I'm actually going up to the top of the forest to see how and which direction we want to go. So maybe I say, oh, let's go towards the sun. Okay, so this direction, right? So then I have to relay the message to the lead monkey who is helping the team, the team of monkeys. Yeah. So this team of monkey, maybe they're like chopping down the forest. So the lead has to take instruction from me. So maybe if I were to say, hey, I need to go maybe northwest, let's go another 100 meters. But when I communicate with the lead monkey, he's like, we can't do it because there's a big rock that's blocking us. So if you don't come down and see what's happening on the ground, then you will always be sitting on the pedestal like, no, I don't care. You must do it.
Yeah.
Right? Then it's very difficult for the operations, the pack, for them to move forward. So it's coming down constantly to see, what is the ground, what is the terrain, what is the current situation, then go up and then adjust again. So I always find that being the way, my style of doing. So once you're ready, fire first, then aim later.
Yes. So it's always like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what about for you? Like, is there any part of your story that whenever people ask you, you always leave out, you don't want to talk about it?
Oh, dealing with haters.
Sorry?
Dealing with haters.
Oh, tell me more.
Yeah. Usually when people ask me about dealing with haters part, I will like, I don't care, just block. But the truth is that haters does affect me. It's the truth. Like, of course, those comments doesn't, like one or two doesn't affect. But when it comes from people that maybe you kind of know, or maybe there's a lot of these kind of comments, then you start to take it into heart, especially as a young teenager back in the days. I think I got very affected by it, that I really doubt what I'm doing, and maybe I should cut down more on like maybe doing what I really like or things like that. So in the cosplay community, it's also a bit more toxic because there's a lot of comparison of looks and like people even hating on people just because their skin color doesn't fit the character.
Oh yeah. This reminds me of Little Mermaid, the animation film. We can talk about it.
Yeah. So because of that, actually the community is quite toxic, and there's a very high standard on like, you must look this way so that you can become this, which personally, I don't agree, because I don't feel cosplay is about looking like a character. I think it's about spreading joy and just celebrating what we love. It's not about looking best, but more of sharing your interests with other people in the community. So that part, it's something I'm trying to push, but I'm really happy to see that in the community these days, it has already shifted a lot from what it was like 10 years ago. More people are joining in, and people don't just bash you because you have a not perfect wig or you didn't do your makeup. People just enjoy the things you do, like just having fun, being goofy together. Wow. And that's okay. Yeah.
So back then when you have all these haters, or usually they are keyboard warriors, like I reckon, how do you deal with it then? And how would you compare now? How do you deal with it now?
I think back then I would just like see it, I would delete and block. And right now I'll still see it and delete and block. But the difference is that how I view the situation. Back then, I feel like the situation is very dire. Like I focus on maybe like I have 10 positive comments, and I have that one comment that is bad.
And you just focus.
Like, I'm like, oh no, I pinpoint so much on that. As I grew up, I realized the reason why it affected me that much, that one singular comment, that 10% affect me so much, is because I take cosplay as my whole. My identity, my whole personality. And once that got attacked, I get very affected. My whole person get attacked. Yep. But as I grew up, I started to, like, for example, have more friends, have other hobbies, have a life outside of cosplay and ACG. When this thing is not perfect, it doesn't affect me as a person anymore, because I have other things that make me me. Yep. So it's a completely different mindset that changed how I react to hate.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is there any message you could share with maybe teenagers who are, because I think being in a teenage age is where we face this a lot.
Yes.
Whether it's a bully, whether it's a people's opinion, how, maybe if there's a message for this younger teenager cosplayer with all these hate comments, what would be the message for them?
You mean for the younger cosplayers?
Yeah.
Well,
If they were to
I just want to let you know that cosplay is not, your whole thing. You have a life outside of cosplay. Please go out there and touch some grass. Stop stay in your room and just be on the internet. You have friends, you have school, you have parents, you have your neighbors. Go and have some fun, Yeah.
Well,
life is more than just the internet and the cosplay.
Yeah. I think because you are born in the internet world, that's why I'm always curious, because when I was attacked before in online once, and just like you said, for all the maybe 100 comments, maybe you just focus on that handful of comments that was negative, and it really affected me to the point where I felt like I didn't do anything wrong, but why is it that I got all this backslash? And some people said to me, this is like yesterday's news. Don't worry, you will walk through it. So it really, maybe now I'm a bit older, with all this comment, it doesn't stay anymore. Or rather, I know what I'm doing. I don't get affected with all these negative comments. But thinking about when I was younger, I will let it sit on me. And I even tell that my mind, I said, okay, I don't feel good about this comment. And I said, I'll give you 1 week to feel shit about the whole.
Oh.
Yeah, I would tell my mind, like, I'll let you, feel miserable, feel victimized for 1 week. And then after that, you need to snap out of it. Yeah. So then I will start to count down, to the day where, okay, this will have no more effect on you. And I think, for a younger generation, even for now, I tell my daughter to differentiate between opinions and facts. Because a lot of us, we are affected by people's opinion.
Yeah.
But actually, it's not your reality, right? And that people will always have all these opinions about things, and because they are, and I also have this something that someone shared with me years ago. He said, when people comment, it's because your life is more interesting than theirs.
Oh my God, real.
Yes. So feel that it's like, well, thank you for making this comment, but because otherwise they would be going out there having fun and not leaving all these negative comments, keyboard warriors, right? So so I think that don't really put too much to heart when people write that message. I also want to know, because now you probably pretty famous, you have visibility, people start to know you. Has that changed you in the way you deal with your friends, your family in your day-to-day? Or like when you remove this cosplay, you are someone else? Okay.
So in my actual days when I remove my cosplay and react with my fans, interact with my friends instead of my fans, I'm even more unhinged sometimes. It really depends on how close my friend is. Like my close friends, they see the even more unhinged side of me.
Oh.
Yeah. But for my friends, maybe I'm like, more mild, more timid. Yeah, I'm just like nodding at the corner. Yep. But with my close friends, I'm even more unhinged than Xiaoyu is.
Describe the unhinged Xiaoyu. Like, what would you do that you consider as unhinged?
Weird stuff.
Weird stuff?
Yeah, weird stuff.
That you guys have to go and find out what is the weird stuff that she will do.
Like most of the time, my friends will be taking care of me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm the one that gets babysitter all the time. My friends will agree when they see this.
They're gonna be nodding.
Yeah.
So, but when you took up like cosplay, has there been any challenges? Even now, are you facing any challenges, and how do you overcome, other than the negative comments? What else do you get? People coming up to you, even like, why are you dressed like that? Have you ever encountered?
I think in Singapore, it's more open society. Unlike like other countries, maybe like Japan, you are not allowed to wear cosplay in the public.
Really?
People will frown upon you, and some people might even come up to you and say you shouldn't be doing this.
Oh, is weird. When I was there, I thought, is it because
so
there's
maybe
a convention?
It's an event,
Maybe that's why.
You need to
it's
get
quite
permits.
a group.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
you need to get permission to cosplay outdoors. You want to take photos at the park in cosplay. You have to ask for permission from the park. They might take ages to reply you.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know that. Now I learned. Maybe that day was a different day because there was quite a group of people like dressed up. So that was the very first time I saw cosplay.
So maybe that was an event.
Yeah.
So in Singapore, it's quite okay. I feel like the cosplay is not really frowned upon if you wear it in public. Yeah. So I think the difficulty I face is that even though Singapore is like such a, like we are a very well off country, but the truth is that our population is so small. And the fact is that a lot of the big companies like from China, gaming companies, anime companies from Japan, Korea, they all will not want to come into Singapore to do like an event, to like take this market because the market is so small. Yeah. They might want to target like, let's say Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, but they will not come here. And that's the difficulty I face. So as a cosplayer, even as a top cosplayer in Singapore, we don't get much opportunity unlike other countries. So how I beat that will be to go international. Yep. I also go to different countries like Malaysia and Thailand. I also have a fan base there. So it kind of helps me to get to different events in Southeast Asia. So I don't just target Singapore, I target the whole Southeast Asia. And right now, what I'm trying to do is go international to America and the top of the north side of Asia also.
But I really think that even the Europeans are catching up with manga and cosplay.
Europeans also.
Yeah, so I think you will be a good market because you'll be starting, right? It's always good to be in the infancy stage for that country. I find that's where I would love to well, if funeral was in the infancy stage, but it's quite difficult for funeral industry now. Yeah, but I think for cosplay, there's a lot of room to grow and a lot of room to educate. Because I always think that a person wear different masks, right, in your life. When you're with your parent, you are maybe a different daughter. But when you're with your friend, you're a bit unhinged. And then you don't want this side to be, you don't want your parents to see this side of you because you want to be in control, with them. So I think life is, actually we are all cosplaying at times, just that maybe without a costume, we need to put up a different mask in front of different people. Or like I've seen people who are like business owners, but actually when they're with the kids, they behave differently. And then when they're at work, wow, they are like in power, right? But then when they are at home, the son is the powerful one. The son can like press one button and then the father will like, okay, whatever you want, So I thought that sort of give me that analogy between cosplay, masks that we wear.
So what about you then? Because you mentioned that you have to work with like guys in the past and you have to, speak their language and become a different person. So how many masks do you have and what is it like?
Wow. Actually, I do have quite a few. One thing for sure is I love to have fun. And I'm quite a daredevil. Daredevil as in I like to try new sports, new adventure. So if you ask me, I remember we went canyoning. You go down the canyon and there were 8 of us, and there's 2 girls and 6 boys. And every time they ask who wants to go first, it's either me or another guy. Because the 2 of us are always like, okay, let's go. I don't fear of heights. I just go first. So I do a lot of like skydiving, bungee jump. So anything that is risk-taking, I'm there. I love to try it. Even things like one of my, maybe back then when I was younger, one of the sports I really wanted to try was the wingsuit. Where you wear I don't know what you call it, like a suit. So it
Science
makes,
school?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then you fly by the cliff. Yeah, that was really something I wanted to do. Or even skydiving without tandem. That means you are skydiving. So these were maybe a bit younger days that I wanted to like explore and try out. But I still do like adventurous stuff. Like we only started snowboarding at 3 years ago. Past 40, we are like, okay, let's try a new sport. I do kite surfing also. So this part of having fun is something that I enjoy. Actually, another part, people thought I am an extrovert, but actually I'm not. I'm an introvert. I think you might be similar. Like we appear to be extrovert when we need to, but actually I would prefer to be hibernating at home if I have a choice. So I don't know, like sometimes when we talk to my friends, it's like, oh, when they ask me out, actually I don't feel like going out that day.
Oh my God.
And then when they cancel on me, I feel so happy. It's
You're like, yay.
Oh, yeah, but actually in the message, oh, bummer, yeah, maybe we'll meet the next time. But actually I'm like, oh yes, I can have a me time at home. And yeah, I do that. So actually that's part of me is whenever I'm out in a social event, then you need to be that supercharged, hyper, connecting people, right? Networking. But then once I'm back at home, I wear a different mask. I will become like, oh, I just want to be alone, like in my own space. I start to, have a little bit of a hibernate already. Yeah. What about you?
Oh, for me, I would say it really depends on people. Like when I'm in a social environment, I try to be more extroverted. And then when I'm not in a social environment, like just day-to-day life, it depends on who I'm with. Like with my close friends, then yes, I'm very extroverted. But with my like normal friends or acquaintances, I'm like very introverted. I'm just like nodding in the background. Yeah. And especially in like big groups, I'm very quiet. Like one-on-one, I can talk.
Okay.
Yeah, but in big groups, I'm just like,
like
so, in the corner.
So actually, when I did Enneagram, Enneagram is a type of personality test. So what you describe, sometimes we call ourselves the self-preservation. So you're actually self-sufficient. You're okay to be with yourself. So actually, just now I was thinking when you were talking about how you are, one thing I actually, a lot of people don't know is I can live without my phone. I don't know about you. I can, actually I did a meditation for 10 days without my phone, my handphone, without my laptop, with no connection
internet.
with the world. And people thought I cannot make it, but actually I love it. And I think I don't know about, because you were born in the digital world. How long can you be without your handphone?
Wow. I think the highest record, like actual record, was like 1 week because I was on a cruise and there was like no internet.
But so have you ever like switched off, like don't look at your phone?
I have.
Yeah.
Usually when I know I don't have to work, I'll probably like leave my phone behind and then go out.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I leave my phone behind and go out.
Yeah.
Just to get that, like my me time.
Yes. Yeah. So you're very inwards also. You like that space in yourself, right?
Yeah.
What about how has, I'm sure there will be people who give you criticism, like when you say about the negative comments. How did that help you or affect your confidence? Has that shaped you somehow? How do you take all this criticism when they say?
Let me think. I still remember in the past there was an episode where there's this news outlets that just blasting that I'm the top cosplayer in Singapore. And then because of that, there was a huge backlash on me from the community. Because the older generations in the community, they're like, who is this girl?
Oh, suddenly you boo.
Yeah, like who just came in, like who is this girl? And people are saying like she's the top, she got the most followers. Like, who is she? And then because of that, the whole Facebook feed, it's a community, so like we can all see each other's Facebook and then like shares and retweets. So like whole feed is just talking about me, like who is this girl? Who is this girl? But on the internet, of course, it's like, chill. But it's like within the community, it's like exploding. And I got really affected by it because I was like a young teenager. I was like 18 years old. I'm just like sitting at home and then suddenly this thing fall on me, like, what did I do? Yeah. So I don't know what to say. I didn't say anything. I just kept quiet, like, okay.
But how did you overcome it or like surpass this part?
I think I also gave myself a wow. Of course, when the first day it happened, I cried. I'm like, why did it happen to me? I didn't do anything. And then, but I also gave myself, like what you said, I gave myself like 1 week to let it set. Like for that 1 week, I maybe like try to change my mood. I just try not to touch my phone, just leave it be, because I noticed that it's negatively affecting me, but it's not something I could do anything about. So I'm just going to leave it be. And eventually you'll blow over. And of course, eventually you blew over. So I think because of that episode, I started to realize that all this hate, yes, it's hurting you at the moment, but eventually you'll blow over. People get over it also. So it's always eventually you will just go past. So don't like feel like it's the end of the world.
Yeah, I always say that. So I'm teaching my daughter this thing about how is maybe because when I was younger, whatever I learned, I want to let my daughter know earlier, teach her earlier. So there was something that I told her that you cannot control other people's action or the way they talk. You can't control that. The only thing you can control is how you respond to it or how you feel, right? That's the only easiest thing because it's you. Because you can control your mind, you can control your emotions. Of course, when I say control, it's not like, oh, snap out of it, but how do you tell yourself and how do you respond to that? So because people's mouth, you can't just like shut them off, right?
Yeah.
But it's how you receive and leave it on the table and not put it on you, because most of the time it's not on you. It's about them. It's about what they their opinions are. And I think the more you're not affected, you don't feed them. In psychology, you know, when I was learning this is people always want to have your reaction. And when you don't give them the reaction they want, then they're like, oh, not fun. Okay, let me go to the next victim. Because they just sometimes just want that reaction from you. So let's say someone is angry and they want to pick a fight with you, but you don't allow the fight to happen. And then the more you are like so calm, then the more like they get pissed off, like, how come you're not fighting with me? I want to fight with you.
Real.
So then they're like, well, I mean, you can be angry, just be angry lah, but I'm not. So then they realize, oh, you're not fun. Okay, let me find someone else that I can target on.
I feel like there's a line to draw. Like for example, when I hear from your story, you talk about like standing up for yourself. So there's one part about like standing up for yourself when people really make stupid comments. But there's also another part where like, I'm just gonna leave it be, like not respond, not react to you. So how do you like classify like when you should do this, when you should do that?
So things that were not like, let's say example like negative comments that I find that they are not they will not jeopardize my business or my team or my work or my integrity. I will leave it. Because these are just your opinions, right? But those that I will stand up for is when it will hurt my business, it will hurt my team, it will hurt even my clients, or it will hurt things that I stand for. That one I will stand up for it. Like if they were to, I mean there was some episodes but maybe not convenient to share on the air. But it was more where I felt there were a bit of judgment because I'm a female. And they, because of this judgment, like, oh, you guys are all ladies. So they try to maybe make things difficult for me. Yeah. And I remember standing up for that. I said, okay, don't worry. If you make this comment, I will make sure that maybe simply put is a job that can be done by 2 men. I will get 4 girls to do it. Because of strength, right? They're like, oh, or maybe things like they make comments like, oh yeah, you're ladies. Why you always hire ladies? They no strength. And I said, oh, maybe for 2 men's job, I can get 4 ladies. Why no strength? You can challenge me. I can also lift a guy. I can piggyback a guy at 70 kg. So don't need to challenge me, but just know that we will get the job done. But don't have to make comments like that. Because sometimes in the industry, maybe in the past, they were maybe 看我小妹妹, you know, and then they will make all this like, maybe to them it's harmless comments, but actually I take it in and I fine-tune my strategy based on what they share. So then every time I fine-tune, and I also have a lot of partners that I work very closely with. For me, partners are because, you know, in a funeral, you cannot run by yourself. Like cosplay is very individual industry. Whereas for a funeral, you need the whole, you know, the works of the caterer, the tentage company. So I always keep very good relationship with them. And I also told my team, never ever bully or like tell my supplier off because we are paying them. I said, I disagree. We are all on the same pedestal. We are all coming as a team to help the client. So there's no such thing as, oh, we are the main contractor, then you are the subcon, and then you are disrespectful to them. So I don't allow that. So every of my contractors, they are very important to me. And I always make sure that, you know, this is something that everybody deserves that respect, not just because, oh, I'm paying you. Even helpers also. Like, you know, when I just came back from India and I enjoy talking to their helpers lah. Talking to them, some they can't really communicate well, but I think to make them feel seen. I remember there was at a restaurant, and something I like doing in India is asking the meaning of their names.
Oh,
Yeah. So every time I meet an Indian, I say, "What's the meaning of your name?" Because it's very interesting.
Oh.
Like for us Chinese is, each character has a meaning.
Yeah,
but for
yeah.
Indian, usually they have a meaning to their name. So when you ask that, you see, even for waiter, when I ask them like, what's the meaning of Ashok? And his face just light up because nobody remembers that. And then subsequently, I just call him, Ashok, can you help me get this? So I think to have that respect or letting them be seen is very important.
Right.
And I think that's also the basic respect that we can give to any human being.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, things I will stand up for, I will stand up for it. And things that not waste my time, right? Then don't give them as what my friend always say, don't give them head space because you have limited RAM already, right?
Yeah.
So don't put it in your head and then waste that space. Yeah.
You put effort into growing yourself instead of
exactly. Yeah.
reacting to the hate.
Yeah. Do you feel that cosplay will be something you can do for maybe the next 3 decades, 4 decades?
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's a very common question I get asked a lot. So, like when I talk to people, like, you do cosplay, people like, 青春饭啊. You can only do it until what age, right? Like 20 plus, 30 plus. And then eventually what are you going to do? So that's a thing that is always on the back of my mind. Like when I share about my career, people will question that. And for me, I'm thinking on like, I will do it as long as I'm interested in. In fact, I feel cosplay is less of a career for me. It started as a hobby, and even until now, I still love what I do. So I still do it because I love it. And if eventually, I grow out of the cosplay, then maybe I will stop doing cosplay. And I still have like my other things to fall back on, like my career and also other things that is not cosplay related, but it still feed me. So the truth is that I'm not doing cosplay because I want this money. It's more of I'm interested in it.
And
so
you're
even
passionate.
if I'm like 50, 60, 70, 80 years old, if I'm still interested in cosplay, I'll still do cosplay. I still
Nice.
post content online, and you like it or not, up to you.
Why not? I mean, I think that's the best, right? I think when you do something and you enjoy it and you love it, you don't feel that it's a chore. You don't feel that it's a job. And that gives a lot more purpose in your life. If you can, but I'm sure you get messages where, Xiaoyu, I really like what you've done. You inspire me. I mean, these are the things that you feel good about because you can touch people's heart. Right. So I really like that. Yeah, please keep on cosplaying. Okay, even though, yes, you even at whatever age. Actually, is there an age limit? I'm just curious. Can I still do cosplay at my age?
The oldest cosplayer that is like earning off it, I think it's like 40 plus.
Oh.
Yeah. I have not seen anybody of 50s.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Why? Is there a reason? I thought cosplay you will hype the age, no? Like
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
It's just
actually.
the market.
Yeah, it's just the market that the numbers, the oldest I've met is like 40 plus. That's it.
Well, I see.
So as you mentioned previously, you said that you're more introverted. So what makes you be, such a strong woman and going out to people, standing out for yourself?
I think it has to be the desire to help people to have a beautiful farewell. I think that has always been that meaning that I find that if today, because farewell is a once in a lifetime, right? It's really, you can only have one farewell in this lifetime, and if that people have the choice to make, or they can make better decision, wiser decision, knowledgeable decision, that, you mean I can do this for my mom? Oh, you mean I can do this for myself when I pass? I think that is what drives me to stand in front of audience and share my idea. Because if today, if today I can just inspire one person to take action, or like, you gave me an idea, I really would like to do this with my mom, and then maybe I can impact generations.
Right.
That they have, they say the things they want to say to their loved ones. There's no regrets. Because when I first joined the industry, I felt this industry is filled of regrets. Even for me, right? When my dad passed, I had regrets that I should have talked to my dad more, because he's always working. He's often not at home. So, and because of our language barrier, so he speaks Hokkien, I speak Mandarin and English. He's someone who didn't study much, only P6, and then he started working. So I think that regret was something that I felt, wow, I need to change this concept. I need to let people, when they pass away, that they have lesser regrets. So things when I started, I started this service called Showers of Love. It's also inspired by a Japanese film that is to allow family members to have the final, makeup and the dressing and to participate in that. Because one of the regrets was I didn't get to participate in my dad's final, his hairdo or his maybe not makeup, but more like I didn't get to say, hey, this is not how he wear his hair. I didn't get to put his favorite comb in his pocket. So I felt like, wow, these are things that I still think about it, right?
Yeah.
But if I'm the one who think about it, I'm sure many people have thought about it, because when I speak to friends, they're like, oh, you know what? I regret not seeing my dad in the casket. And I say, how come you didn't get to see your dad in the casket? He said, oh, because I was only 12 years old and my family refused to let me go and say goodbye to my dad. But today she's already my age, right? And 40 plus, and she's still talking about it. Yeah. It means that this part of her felt empty, like she couldn't get resolved, and there's no way she can see her father in the casket anymore. So I think that even though I'm introvert, I like to inspire more people. Like before I go in this lifetime, I really hope people have a different perspective about farewell, that it doesn't need to be a somber event. It can be one that is full of life, because this person has lived a great life. And if this can help more people, I would always be willing to stand in front of anyone, or even in a podcast, to talk about it. Yeah. What about for you?
Oh, for me? Well, I think it actually just came from, I'm usually more introverted, and because of my passion and love for anime and games, when I got into the community, I found that there are so many people who are just like me, who want to celebrate this. So because of that, I also got more open and start to talk more. And eventually when I get to know the people individually, I start to realize how everyone is actually looking for something in this, like in the ACG community. Maybe their life haven't been so perfect. Maybe some stories inspired them, or like really gave them something to live off. Like when they see the characters, they grow and how they become a better person. Maybe that inspired them also. So it's that kind of love and that inspiration that we got from these works, ACG, like in anime, games, and comics, that got us together. And in this community, we share that love. And because I got in the community, I start to realize how many such people are around me. And I start to share my ideas. And that's where I start to become more extroverted and eventually become this. Yeah.
This unhinged version of you.
Yes.
No, but it's very nice. I actually get the word that you said just now, which is whatever you're doing is about spreading joy. And I think that in today's context, a lot of us are so bogged down with expectations, right? You are expected to be this because our parents were born in the era where they were not exposed to globalization with the internet world. But with our lifestyle, we need the internet. We need to go out there. We need to do things that's unconventional. And I think that's the community and also the society is more enduring now. Maybe in the past they'll be like, yo, why are you wearing this? I still remember when I was younger days where I went out with a friend who's a French guy, and even in the MRT, people are staring at us. Like, why are you with a white guy? Or back then. But now it's very common. You see it everywhere. People they're becoming more receptive, accepting that, oh, this is part of life, more inclusive also. So I think there's a shift, and I really like what your community is doing.
I think in your industry, like what you're doing, I think it'll be more popular with the younger generations as time goes on. With the younger generation who are more open-minded. But with the older generations, maybe they will still be more reserved. And I think the reserved part, maybe you'll feel even more deeply when it comes from your parents. Like, for example, you say your mother was also telling you shouldn't be doing this, right? So how do you overcome that part? Like your mother? Yeah.
Oh, my mom, actually at the age of 30, there were so many hard knocks. I think I'm more, I wouldn't say unhinged, but I was a bit I wouldn't use the word rebellious also. I wasn't rebellious until I was, as a teenager, I was a very good teenager. When I say a good teenager, I go home, I study. I wanted to get very good result for my O level. So I was never disrespectful. So I didn't go through some of, what my friends would share, like the teenagers, they're very angst about things. I wasn't like that. So actually at a very young age, I was very reflective, about life, about things, about my mom's sacrifices, my dad's commitment, and how he helped the family. So when my mom shared with me that you shouldn't be in this industry, actually at the back of my mind, in 2004 when my dad passed away, I felt like very misunderstood, that she didn't understand why I needed to be in the industry. It was actually to protect her. But she didn't see that. She felt like, I don't need your protection. You need to go out there and get a job that can pay you well because you have a degree. But the back of my mind is, you just lost your life partner. You have 4 of us to feed. I have 2 younger siblings still in school. How are you going to manage the business alone? So when she kept pushing me out of the industry, actually I was very upset with her. Actually angry also. I would say at that point in time, I was very pissed off, like, why you don't understand what, as a daughter, how I feel about you. But now that I'm a mom and I know why she did that, I think at the age of 30 years old, actually I say thanks to her. That I said the best thing you did for me was to push me out of the industry. Because I left the industry for a year. I went into financial advisory and then I came back. So at 30 years old, actually, I told her, I think that was the best decision you make for me. And then because you forced me to do something else, not rely on the business. And actually at 30 years old, she came to me and said, oh, I'm not worried about you anymore. Because every time you fall, you pick yourself up and go on with your life. So I think that was a bit of an affirmation. Even though when I started the company, she was like, why you start this company? Why this brand name? She didn't understand why when I said, I want to call the company the Life Celebrant. And to her, it was, why? There's nobody who wants to celebrate life or celebrate death. I said, no, I'm not celebrating death. I'm celebrating the life story. So it's really showing her, like one by one, that I could stand on my own 2 feet, that now she doesn't like nag at me anymore. I think, that comes with age and a lot of experience. So even when I told my mom, my friends are like, oh, my mom is on my Facebook. And my friend was like, your mom is on your Facebook? I said, yeah, she's my friend on my Facebook. And to them is, why would you want your mom to see your life? I say I have nothing to hide, right? So, but for them is maybe I understand where they come from, because sometimes they will post picture of them drinking, partying and all that. But I didn't have so many opportunity to let loose, because at a young age, I have to start to take care of my family. And then when people are like partying at Zouk, I didn't have the luxury, I was really helping my mom. And one hobby I picked up was salsa dancing. And salsa dancing, usually you're not drinking much, you're dancing more. So that becomes my outlet. So I remember there was a video of me dancing, and then someone said, oh, there's a video of me dancing. And my mom was like, wait, I want to see. So she never seen me dance salsa before. So I think she was, she come to realize that her daughter has different, wear different masks, and she accept who I am. And that's what she has always advocated since we were young. It's just that she wanted to protect us. Yeah. What about your parents? I mean, how do they feel now?
Okay. In the beginning, because when I do cosplay, I was 16.
Yeah.
I wasn't even like 18 yet. So when my parents know about me cosplaying, they are extremely worried. Because there are so many horror stories coming out, like Tiko Bay for talk, then got harassment case in the convention, all these kind of things. And it doesn't seem like a very safe place. And of course, my parents are worried of me as a very young teenager getting interactions with people in society. Like it could be anybody, like who is my daughter interacting with today, they are very worried. So because of that, I start to try to share more things, like where I'm going, who I'm hanging out with, what I'm doing. So just to set ease on them. And then I also let them know what I do to protect myself. So they will let me, just do what I want. Yeah. And eventually, when I become older, of course, this is not their main concern anymore, because, they know I can protect myself.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. So now they don't give you any issue or?
Not really, actually.
And that's good. I think that's true that when you have clarity with your parents of where we are going, then it's actually just to put them at ease.
Yeah,
right.
they're just worried.
But when maybe younger people or like, the teenager, sometimes it may come like a nagging you, but actually they just want to make sure you are protected. But as long as you earn their trust, I feel that that's where you can then fly further. But how to earn that trust is really like demonstrating what you have done, informing them where you are, giving that accountability that you know what you're doing, right? But by saying it, I know what I'm doing is not good enough. It's really earning small little credits, right? Like game, like play games, right? You have all these credits, and I think earning those credits are important, and I think that's how everybody who wants to do cosplay really need to do that with their parents and not keep them in secret, like, what are you doing outside? They don't know. But as long as you tell them, oh, Ma, this is what I'm doing, this is how I'm getting, my paycheck or what I'm doing. Because I think people are worried. Especially our parents were never exposed to this, right? I remember my grandmother, when I appeared on TV for a TV show, the next thing she said to me was, you cannot go out too late. Later you get kidnapped. I said, we're in Singapore. So, and even like I wear this outfit, let's say I go salsa dancing, it's very hot. So I will wear like sleeveless, and my grandma was like, what you wear? Then she hold back what she wanted to tell me. Then she said, oh, you wear this, aren't you cold? You know? Yeah, so she wanted to say something else. Then I like, okay, so I sense what she wanted to tell me. So every time I go out, I will always wear a shawl or I wear a jacket so that she doesn't think that I'm, And she's very cute one. She would just think like,
imagine very weird things, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's why you need to keep them, at ease. So because I was living with her for a while. I was living with my grandma for a while. So I realized, 老人家, the older folks, they maybe imagine too much, and they watch too much drama series. So I said, kidnap. We're not that rich to be kidnapped. Okay? No value. So maybe with something, what is a message of wisdom that you would like to leave to the audience?
Actually, I feel that after talking with you, I learned a lot from you.
Oh, likewise also.
Yeah, because like, you are such a strong woman. Like, I hear your story. You also started at a very young age to get in the industry, get like frowned upon by other people. And even your people who are supposed to be working with you, like, frown on you. So it really takes a lot of courage and a lot of strength to overcome that within yourself. Like, really just coming from within yourself. I think that's really inspiring.
Oh, thank you. So how about for the listeners? Thanks for sharing that. Because it does, I think there's a lot of inner work. I think this whole podcast, after interviewing, chatting with so many guests, a lot of us actually are going through inner works, but just that maybe we don't get to share a lot. You are also doing inner work, right? So when I say inner work is actually adjusting your own mindset, adjusting your own alignment. We all have something. I always feel like we are aligned with the universe, but it's just sometimes a situation happen, we are off alignment, right? But how do we keep that alignment and go towards the purpose? So like when you talk about the negative comments, how you adjust it, right? We all come and we learn, right? We fall, but most importantly is get up and like, okay, tomorrow is another day, and this thing will not hold any weight with you anymore. So I mean, for the listeners who may be considering, starting cosplay, what would be something that you would like to share with them, whether they should pursue this or how do they get started? What would be something that you can share with them?
I think if you want to start cosplay, like, it's like just saying, like, if you want to start YouTuber, you want to become a streamer, definitely don't just dive deep into it. Like, the first thing you do is like, oh, I'm going to quit school. I'm going to resign from my job and do this. It's not going to work like that. And it's better off that you do it as a hobby, do it as an interest. And you have to have the genuine interest in this thing so that you can continue to do it like as a side thing. And eventually when you are big enough in this industry, then you can start pursuing it full time. And of course, in this journey, right, I think every creator faced it is that people will tell you that you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. Who you think you are, You're nobody. Because when you start, you're nobody. Yeah. So I think you have to have that mindset that I will grow along the way. And you can't just like, because this one time I did this, for example, live stream, I only got like 10 viewers. Oh, I failed. It's a growing process. You have to celebrate every little small win along the journey. This time it's 10. Oh, tomorrow is 12. And you just celebrate that so that you have the motivation to continue on. Yeah.
Well, I like that. I like the celebrating small wins. I think that's why sometimes people get deflated because they feel like, oh, I aim maybe very, I aim to have how many viewer or how many followers. But every step you take is actually closer to that goal.
Yeah.
But it's so important to celebrate the small win. And I always say that the naysayer will always say they will always say whatever they want to say. Even when I was younger, when people say, oh, are you crazy? Why do you do that? And then they would just say things like, why do you want to do that? And then when you make it happen, right, then they say, oh, why do you do that? That was a great idea, So they will always have this like, well, back then when things didn't happen, they're like, why you do that? And then when things happen, oh, why you do that? That was great, Then they will always be like that. But most importantly is being accountable to yourself because this lifetime is your own journey. Yeah, you have other people, the other souls along with you, but ultimately is who you are and how you grow in this lifetime that I think is most important. So please celebrate the small wins because this will then get you to where you are. And I think that's very important. So thank you for sharing that nugget of wisdom. And thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Clean Your Toilet podcast.
Your transformation starts with the inner work, so take your step today.
Commit to your inner work today and find that alignment within.